Hello, beautiful learners. Hopefully, you're doing great, and I'm also good by the grace of Almighty. So, it's our day 31, and today we are going to listen practice IELTS listening practice test 31 with proper answers and explanations for achieving band 9. So, before going to start class, I just need to check whether you can hear me clearly. Then I will start it, okay?
Section 1. You will hear two students, Peter and Mary, planning their weekend. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relates.
Okay, I'm quite confident that you can hear me as well as the audio track. So let's listen the first instruction from him as he was talking. Okay.
In the afternoon and very.
Section 1. You will hear two students, Peter and Mary, planning their weekend. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Well, Mary, you're free this weekend, and so am I. So let's plan the agenda.
Okay, so I hope you got the instruction from him as he was talking. Now let's read the another instruction that is given on the screen. We can see here. Okay, write one word or a number for each answer. Okay, so let's listen. Here we can see here is an example done for us. Okay, let's listen it. Okay, so the answer we can see it's afternoon. Okay, let's it's already bolded, but we don't need to highlight this one. Okay, so let's read the question. Peter and Mary will see a movie on Saturday, blah blah. So in the fill in the blank for sample one, the answer would be afternoon. Okay, let's listen it.
We said we're going to see a movie on Saturday, right?
Yes.
But what time?
It's cheapest in the afternoon and very expensive at night, of course, so let's go in the afternoon.
Sounds good. Have some fun before preparing that night for all our studies.
Peter and Mary will see the movie in the afternoon. So afternoon has been written in the space.
Okay, I hope you got this one, and let's move on to the real one. Okay, so here we can see that it says in question number 1, the movie Peter and Mary will see is a blah blah. Okay, movie Peter and Mary will see is a blah blah. Let's listen it.
Now we shall begin. You should listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Well, Mary, you're free this weekend, and so am I. So let's plan the agenda. We said we're going to see a movie on Saturday, right?
Yes.
But what time?
It's cheapest in the afternoon and very expensive at night, of course, so let's go in the afternoon.
Sounds good. Have some fun before preparing that night for all our studies.
But you mentioned that new action movie.
Sure.
Well, that's what you want to see, but I'd rather see that comedy.
I thought we'd agreed on the action movie.
You just said that you'd like it. I didn't. My friends tell me my movie is very funny, too.
Okay, I'm fine with that. A comedy it is. We can...
So lots of arguing after a long time argument, they both agreed that they will see a comedy movie. So comedy would be the answer, okay? Comedy. Okay. Let's listen it for question number 2. Afterwards, they will eat. Let's listen it.
see my action film another time. So that's Saturday afternoon planned, and that night we'll just eat at a restaurant.
Where?
I don't have much money, but there are some nice cheap places near the cinema. What about Pizza King?
I'm not that keen on pizza, actually. There's a noodle place near there. What about that?
Oh, I really wanted to eat pizza.
And you know how fattening pizza is, and not nearly as healthy as noodles either.
Okay, we'll do it your way again. Noodles it is.
Okay, finally, they both of them agreed that they will eat noodle because Peter was saying, okay, well, we'll do it your way again. Noodles would be, it is. So noodles would be the answer. No D, no D L P L. Okay, noodles would be the answer. Now let's listen it for question number 3. On Sunday, they will start at. Let's listen it.
Okay, that's Saturday done. But Sunday, we have to study, right?
You bet. We'd better start early too. 10 a.m, let's say. We can meet in the library about that time.
Okay, let me write that in my diary. But 10 in the morning is a bit late, don't you think? We've got a lot to do, so I should think 9 a.m. is the very latest we should meet.
9 a.m? Sunday morning? Are you serious? What about 9:30?
No, it's important to be disciplined, so I'll be there at that earlier time.
All right, 9 a.m. The early bird catches...
Okay, and they again agreed the last 9 a.m. would be the answer. Okay, so we should write 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. Now let's listen it for question number 4. They will study blah blah.
the worm or passes the exam, right?
Right, but should we study for the science class or the maths one?
Or even history. There's so much to study.
Well, let's just stick to the original plan. Science, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was saying, let's just stick to the original plan, science, right? And he was saying, yeah, so science would be the answer. Where is my cursor? Okay, I got it. So science would be the answer. Okay, I hope you got it. Now let's listen it for question number 5. Later they will eat. Okay, let's highlight and let's listen it.
Yeah, we can study for maths another time.
Okay, that's decided. Now, that just leaves the afternoon.
But there's lunch first. I think we can have my choice of restaurant this time. That's only fair.
But the university cafeteria is not far, and cheap too.
But I thought we could have pizza.
There's a nice sandwich bar there, and that's a healthier option. I'm doing this for your own good. Look at you, Peter. You're already overweight.
Okay. We'll take the healthy option again.
Sandwiches it is, and you'll...
Okay, so the lady was saying, suggesting to eat sandwich, but Peter was asking for to eat a pizza, but Then he Peter agreed that they will eat sandwich. Okay, so that's what the answer you should write. Sandwich. Which is sandwiches. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 6. Okay, here we can see Mr. Vernon, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Whitehead. Okay, now here we can see Peter opinions for this good. Now we should listen it for question number 6 first. Okay, Mary's opinion for Barrison. Let's listen it.
Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Well, Mary, I think we've planned our day well, but I've always wanted to ask you what you think of our course of study.
I think it's good. Very good, in fact.
So do I.
Apart from some of the teachers.
What do you mean?
Well, our maths tutor, Mr. Vernon, is okay.
Sure.
But he doesn't seem to care much about the...
So she was saying, she was saying our math tutor, Mr. Vernon, is okay. Sure, but he does not seem to care much about the subject matter. So she was saying he's okay. So okay means he's good. So we should select for question number she was saying he's okay, and she's also saying that but doesn't seem to care much about the subject matter. So okay means it's not like good or bad, it's like average. So we should select option A, average. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 7. Okay,
the subject matter.
But he knows his stuff. I think he's excellent. I'm surprised you don't think so too.
He's satisfactory, as I said, but I'd just like him to care more, or try a bit harder.
But he's smart and explains things well. What more could you want?
Just for him to have more passion about what he does. He could be more like, say, Mr. Harrison.
Mr. Harrison is always late, though, and he's never well prepared. Rushes in, notes falling everywhere, a complete mess.
okay. So Peter's opinion, it's not like was good. He was complaining everything like he's disappointed with Mr. Harrison. So it would be option B, bad. Okay, let me explain to you again. As he was saying, Mr. Harrison is always late, though, and he's never well prepared. Okay, and he was saying rush in, notes failing everywhere, a complete mess. So B would be the answer for question number 7. Now let's listen it for question number 8. Okay, Mary's comment for Mr. Harrison. Okay, let's listen it.
Well prepared. Rushes in, notes falling everywhere, a complete mess.
But it's his attitude that matters. Mr. Harrison wants to help students. He has passion, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, a passion for...
So Mary is commenting for Harrison like he's good. Okay, so I should select option G for good. Okay, because she was saying he has passion, but it's his attitude that matters. Mr. Harrison wants to help students. He has passion, and that's the most important thing. That means he's commenting for Mr. Harrison good. Okay, so we should select option G for that. Okay, let's listen in for question number 9 for Mr. sorry, Miss Whitehead. For let's listen it for from Peter's opinion. Okay.
Disorganization and presenting.
Most important thing.
Yeah, a passion for disorganization and presenting things in a very confusing way. That's why I like Miss Whitehead. She comes on time and presents everything very clearly with her PowerPoint displays.
But she's also rather mechanical. She just
Okay. So we heard from Peter. He was saying, um, I like Mr. White. I like Miss Whitehead. She comes on time and parents everything very clearly with her PowerPoint slide display. So that means he's commenting good for Miss Whitehead. Whitehead. So we should select option C. Okay. Now let's listen it from Mary or Miss Whitehead. Okay. Let's
Very clearly with her PowerPoint displays.
But she's also rather mechanical. She just clicks buttons and the PowerPoint shows another slide.
Very clear slides, and she explains it clearly as well, and that's the most important thing.
But she's not connecting much with the students.
Ah, come on. Only the bad students are not paying attention. All the rest, those who really care, are listening, and the information is given clearly, concisely, and she knows her stuff.
I don't deny that. I'm just saying that a truly good teacher needs a human connection with the students. Without that, teachers ultimately fail in their purposes, and thus she must be considered a failure.
Phew, you are...
So we heard a lot of bad comment from Mary for Miss Whitehead. So I should select option B for question number 10. Okay. So that's all about our part 1. So if somehow you can't get all of these answers, I will suggest you to pause this video right now and watch this lesson from the past again. Then I hope you will be able to get all the answers that I already explained to you. Okay, so I just need to go ahead. Let's move on to part 2. Okay, now here we have another instruction for us. No more than 2 words or a number for each answer. Okay, so here we can see rules at Stamford Hospital, and here are 4 columns. In the second column we can see washing hands, visitors in the third column, and the last column, the fourth one exactly, smoking. Okay, now we can listen it for question number 11, but before we need to highlight some code for this question. Okay, signs and blah blah. Okay, available. One detail, let's highlight.
You are a tough one to please, I'll say that much.
And answer questions 11 to 17.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Stamford Hospital, one of the more progressive hospitals in the Greater Southern Health District. Now, one of the ways we have achieved our high status is through implementing certain rules that you may not necessarily find in other centres of care. One of the most important is washing hands. Everyone who enters this hospital must wash their hands. We have signs indicating this and special sinks installed to allow visitors to follow.
So as I was saying, we have signs indicating this and special sink. So here we can see signs and special sink. Special sinks is missing here, so we need to write special sink. Okay, so special sink, special sink. would be the answer. Now let's listen it for question number 12. Where is 12? Must also blah blah hand hands in the blah blah. Okay, another detail. Let's listen it.
Follow this rule. Did you know that the majority of lethal viruses and bacteria are actually brought in by visitors? And sick people, of course, are very susceptible to such bugs. Thus, the washing hands rule is especially important in certain wards. These have the standard sink near the entrance door and also a bottle of disinfectant spray. So, in addition to washing your hands there, you are expected to spray them as well to kill any bugs that might.
So that means the answer we should write is spray. Okay, let me explain it to you, because she was saying in addition to washing your hand, there are accepted to spray them as well. So spray would be the answer. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 13. Hands in the blah blah nursery. Okay, let's listen it.
Might remain. Annoying? Keep in mind that people have died from infections brought in by visitors, and newborn babies are particularly vulnerable in this respect. This is why the special care nursery definitely uses this system.
So she was saying special care nursery. So special care would be the answer, because we can see nursery is here, but it's missing of special care. So again we should write special care. Okay, let's move on to question number 14. Visitor maximum. Maybe we're going to listen a number. Okay, let's listen it.
Annoying? Not at all. Merely a necessity for a responsible hospital, and every new mother will thank you for it. Now, and on the same theme, most hospitals allow an unlimited number of visitors, 4, 5, 6, but remember, any one of them could be carrying colds or other viruses. For this reason, at the Stanford Hospital, we limit visitor numbers to 3, and we are quite.
Okay, so she was saying for this reason at the Stanford Hospital we limit visitor numbers to 3. So 3 would be the answer. Now let's listen 8 for question number 15, and here we can see must pass through blah blah. Let's listen it.
Strict about this. Again, if you find it annoying, remember that it's for the good of all the patients, and it's what makes our hospital one of the best. To help keep control of this, all visitors must enter through the visitor gate, and there is a guard.
So she was saying all visitor must enter through the visitor gate. So visitor gate would be the answer. Okay, visitor gate. Okay, let's listen for question number 16. Here we can see blah blah in and around the hospital. Okay, let's highlight it. Let's listen it.
To tally up numbers and ensure that this rule is being followed. Now, the smoking policy. Most hospitals allow some sort of smoking somewhere on the premises. But here at Stanford, we believe that tolerating this habit at any time, in any place, is contrary to good health and the ethos of care. Consequently, we have a blanket ban. Smoking on the premises or immediate vicinity is banned completely.
Is banned completely, smoking. So the answer we should write is banned. bend completely, or you can just write only bend, or you can just write whole thing is bend completely. Okay, this three word. But no, you are not allowed to write three word here, because here it says you are allowed to write only two words. So you can just write bend completely, or just write bend. Both are correct. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 17. Blah blah will enforce this. Okay, let's listen it.
We are aware that such rules are often ignored, not only in hospitals but also in many public buildings. Well, we take this rule so seriously that we have undertaken preventative measures. Smoke detectors are in place. We have many video cameras installed, and if people break this rule, or any others, security will be alerted. But we're sure that won't happen once.
Okay, so she is saying if people break this rule or any others, security will alert it. Okay, so security will enforce this. Okay, so that's why we should write security, as she was talking about security. So security, it would be the answer. Okay, security would be the answer. Now let's move on to the next. Here, okay, let's read it. Answer the questions. Choose the correct letter A to C. Note, here we can see you may use a letter more than once. Which building? Okay, Western Wing, rear annex, Matheson building. Okay, open first. Which building? Open first. Let's listen it.
Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Now, after having given you all those Stanford Hospital rules today, let me move on to a brief history of the place. It first opened in 1955, when it was known as the Southern General Hospital. It ran under this name until the 1980s, after which it changed to the present name and was enlarged with the addition of two buildings, the Matheson Building and the Western Wing, although it was the second of these which first began operations in 1984, leaving the...
Okay, so she was saying Western Building, although it was the second of this which first began operation. So that means she was talking about Western Building, which was opened first. Okay, so we should select option A, as we can see here. It's in option number A, Western Wing would be the answer for question number 18. Okay, let's listen it for question number 19. Has the maternity wards, okay, word, let's listen it.
Matheson Building to open 1 year later, and other extensions such as the rear annex to appear only in recent times. The Matheson Building housed the maternity wards, while the Western Wing...
Okay, she is saying the Matheson Building housed the maternity wards. So she was talking about Matheson's Building. Okay, so we should select option C for question number 19. Let's listen it for question number 20. Was damaged in the fire. Okay, let's highlight. Oh no. Which one damaged in fire? We just need to listen that. Okay, let's listen it.
Wing was for infectious diseases, and they still have those functions today. An interesting event was the fire which broke out just after the rear annex was constructed. It was found that some faulty wiring linked to the main transformer caused the fire, starting in the central building, spreading out to the medical library, Western Wing, and the pediatric section. Fortunately, no lives were lost, although the damage bill was...
Okay, so she was saying Starting in the central building, spreading out to the medical library western wing. So, which one damaged? It's we should select option A because western wing was damaged by fire. Okay, let's select option A. Okay, now that's all about part 2. Now we should jump into part 3. And here we can see we have another instruction for us: no more than 3 words for each answer. Just keep it in your mind. Okay, now let's highlight some keyword for this question number 21. The student is having problems with his blah blah. Okay, having problem with his blah blah. Let's listen it.
Considerable. Apart.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Mrs. Harris. I really liked your lecture, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Glad it was interesting. So, how can I help you?
Well, why do you think I need help?
You just don't look too happy.
I admit I'm having some difficulties.
About what?
Oh, it's hard to... Why...
Listen. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Mrs. Harris. I really liked your lecture, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Glad it was interesting. So, how can I help you?
Well, why do you think I need help?
You just don't look too happy.
I admit I'm having some difficulties.
About what?
Oh, it's hard to say exactly. All the reading is quite a chore, but I'm handling it. What really wears me down are the assignments.
The read.
So the answer we should write is assignment. Assignments. Let me explain to you why I wrote it already, because he was saying it's hard to say exactly, and all the reading is quite core, but I'm handing it. What really wears me down are the assignments. So wears me down means it's like he's facing problem. Okay, he's in problem with his assignments. So that's why we should write assignment as the accurate answer. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 22 and highlight something for this question also. So the lecturer recommends writing a summary at the end of each blah blah. Writing a summary at the end of each. Let's listen it.
Reading load is just part of the course, but sure, the assignments take more time, more effort.
And you know how you have to use what you read in your assignments?
That's right. That's the point of the readings.
Well, the reading passages also seem, well...
Boring?
No, not boring, but it's hard to connect it all, to remember what the readings are about, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'd advise you to write a small summary at the back of each reading text.
Really?
So you're saying, well, I advise you to write a small summary at the back of each reading text. So we should write reading text, okay? Reading text as she was talking. Summary at the back of each reading text. So let's move on to question number 23. These must not just be blah blah. Okay, let me highlight blah blah. Okay, let's listen it.
Absolutely. Basically, you don't want to be going through these texts again and again, and you'll need to refer to them often. So write a small summary, and when you revisit these texts, just read these.
I'm not too sure how to write a summary, though.
It's easy enough. The important thing is to check that you've written the main point, and not just a list of details in order of their appearance.
Okay, so she's saying, and not just a list of details in order of their appearance. So we should write a list of details. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 24. But instead contain the main point or blah blah. Let's highlight and let's listen it.
Details are not what matters, so again, don't make a list of these. That will just waste valuable time, and you're going to get very busy soon enough. Usually, these articles argue a point, or otherwise have a certain purpose. So think all the time, what's the point, and what's the purpose?
Okay, and just write that.
Okay, so she was saying, you're going to get very busy soon enough. Usually, this article argue a point or otherwise have a certain purpose. So a point means main point, or she was talking as a purpose. So purpose we should write in question number 24. Okay, let me write per or you can just you can write the whole thing like she was saying, certain purpose, or just you can write purpose only. So both are the correct answer. Okay, being short is the blah blah issue in this type of writing. Let's listen it.
Not just that, you have to think about the supporting points also. Then you might wish to cite some evidence. You can decide that yourself. But what's the most important thing about a summary?
That it's accurate?
No, that it's short. After all, it's a summary, right? So, main point, supporting point, some evidence, and most importantly, keep it short, okay?
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions.
She was saying, you can decide that yourself, but what's the most important thing about a summary? And the man was asking, that's accurate, and she's saying, no, that's it. It's short. So the most important thing is so here we can see in the option in the question it says being short is the most important. Okay, so the answer we should write is most important. Okay, being short is the most important issue. Okay, let's move on to question number 26 to 30. Here we can see map. In this is okay. Here we have an instruction to follow. No more than 2 words for each answer. Okay, complete the labels. Okay, here we can see question number 26 is here, and 27, 28, 29, and 30. Okay, now we should zoom out this one. Okay, let's read the question first, then we will zoom out it. Okay, actually, okay, in question number 26 it says actually summary begins with blah blah, and here it says actually summary begins with blah blah. Let's listen it.
questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Well, those points about writing summaries sound useful, but what about the actual formatting of the summary, on paper I mean? Are there any other points I should know about?
Yes, there's a lot actually. It's very important to
Write clearly?
write the author's name.
But the author's name...
Write the author's name. So it should write author's name, okay? Author's name, okay? Would be the answer. Now let's listen for question number 27. Here it's, I think we don't need to okay, here we can see, okay, we don't need to look this map label, we just can read the question here, okay? So here it says creations or details in, okay? Let's highlight it. Situation in details, okay?
name is in the text anyway.
But it must also be in your summary. And you must always lead with this. For example, Peter Brown argues that, and so on.
So the author's name is Peter Brown.
Yes, and the actual summary continues from there. And here's another good hint. Always write the citation details at the top using bullet points.
Using bullet point. So bullet points would be the answer, okay? Okay, we are out of time. Just give me a few sec. I will submit it and I will start it again, okay? Okay, here we just need to write bullet point as she was talking. Oh no, bullet points, okay? So as we are out of time, I need to select each answer one more time. Just give me a few sec. I will re-click each answer again. It was A, I need to select A again. It was C, I just need to select C. A, oh no, it was A. I should just select A. Okay, it was A. I just it was G. Should select G again. It was B. I should select B. It was G. I should select G. It was B. I should select B again. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm almost done. Now let's listen it for question number 28. Yeah, in question number 28 we can see used letter whenever paraphrasing or blah blah from the text. So in here it says used letter. So I'm quite sure that we don't need to look at this map or label, whatever you say. We just can read this question and answer here, okay? So
Using bullet.
so here we can say use letter whenever students paraphrase or blah blah from the text. Paraphrase or let's listen it.
Points. This makes these details clearer and easier to see, and immediately means you're not plagiarizing the text. You are acknowledging the source, which is academic and required. This also allows you to quickly write these details down later, if you paraphrase or quote from either the summary or the original text.
So quote would be the answer. Let me explain to you. As she was saying, this also allows to quickly write this detail down later if you paraphrase or quote from either the summary or the original text. So quote would be the answer as she was talking. Okay, now let's listen in for question number 29. All the books require a blah blah about why they are used. Let's listen it.
What details go in the citation?
The year of publication is obviously important, but here's another tip. Make sure whatever you're reading is not more than 10 years old. Anything older than that is considered too dated, since business theory moves on fairly quickly. You can cite older texts, but only under special conditions.
What are they?
Well, if the text is a very well-known book, a classic of its kind, but then you have to indicate that in your writing, acknowledge that the book is dated, but then give a justification about why you nevertheless felt the need to use it.
So justification would be the answer. Justification. Okay, as she was saying, acknowledge that the book is dated. Dated means it's old. So dated and older are the similar or word, and they are synonym of each other, you can say. On the other hand, and she was saying, let me say you. And she was saying, acknowledge that the book is dated, but then give a justification about why you nevertheless felt the need to use it. Okay, so justification would be the answer. Now let's listen it for question number 30, the last one of part 3. Okay, stored using blah blah order. Let's listen it.
I see.
So you'll have a lot of summaries for all the text, but with such clear formatting you'll be able to access information quickly. But make sure you store these pages in an order, of course, alphabetical. Based on the author's family names is the simplest method.
Or in order of date, chronological order.
That's possible too, but I'd say alphabetical is always the best.
My friends say chronological order has more advantages.
Any system is fine, provided that it's logical and that you can follow it and quickly access your summaries at a later date.
So it's quite tricky, but the answer we should write is logical. Okay, let me explain to you. As Mr. Harris was asking, that's possible too, but I would say alphabetical is always the best. And the lady was saying, my friend is chronological order has more advantages, and Miss Harris was saying anytime is fine, provided that it's logical. So any system is fine, provided that it's logical. So provided that means if. So it's another synonym of if, like what should I say about this? When someone used to if a conjunction or whatever you say, connectors, this word if, instead of using if, you can use provided that. Okay, so she was saying any system is fine if that is logical. But what did she said? She said anything is fine provided that is logical. Okay, so I hope you got it right now. Let's move on to part 4. Okay, here we can see choose the correct letter A, B, or C. Kangaroos. Okay, let's highlight and let's listen it.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 33.
When one thinks of Australia, one of the first images that comes to mind is of the kangaroo.
Okay, there maybe he's talking about kangaroo. Now here we should read the option also. Let's read them. Are also called joyous. Okay, like forest and bush land exist in large numbers. Let's listen it from him.
This native marsupial is cute, unusual, and with the baby kangaroo, known as a joey, safely in its mother's pouch, it presents an enduring image often seen on Australian postcards and posters. Yet these animals breed prolifically and have been highly favoured by the widespread clearing of forest and bushland in the past to provide land for the traditional sheep and cattle industry. Ironically, kangaroos breed in such numbers, up to 50 million per year generally, that they have become pests. Consequently, for a long time...
So the answer we should select is option A, because he was saying kangaroo kangaroo are also called joyous. Okay. Now let's listen it for. He was saying like with the babies kangaroos known as joyous, safely in its mother pouch. So at their early age, kangaroos are um, known as joyous. Okay, so that's why the answer would be option A. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 32. Okay, let's highlight. And colds involves ref refills occur twice a year, started recently. Let's listen it.
time now, there has been a yearly cull. In other words, their numbers are reduced with controlled and accurate shooting. And here we are talking of shooting millions of them. In the past, the carcasses were simply left out in the bush. Then later, some of the meat was used as cat food, and still is in fact. It is only in recent years that the meat has been used for human consumption, primarily for the overseas market, and one can see why. The meat is, by all accounts, that the meat is we are then being mother's pouch, and with the baby kangaroo, known as a joey, safely in its mother's pouch, it presents an enduring image often seen on Australian postcards and posters. Yet these animals breed prolifically and have been highly favoured by the widespread clearing of forest and bushland in the past to provide land for the traditional sheep and cattle industry. Ironically, kangaroos breed in such numbers, up to 50 million per year generally, that they have become pests.
Okay, so the answer would be option C. I'm sorry, as he was saying, kangaroos breed such numbers up to 50 millions per year generally. So here, exist in large number would be the exact answer. Okay, but if this answer is false, not correct, because here it's like this option says like all kangaroos are joyous, but he said that only babies are known as joyous. So but here it's not mentioned about babies. Okay, so that's why this answer is wrong, but this is accurate, as he was saying at the last. Up to 15 he was saying kangaroos breed in such numbers, up to 50 millions per year generally. So this option C would be the accurate answer. Okay, let's move on to the next one and let's listen it.
Consequently, for a long time now, there has been a yearly cull. In other words, their numbers are reduced with controlled and accurate shooting. And here we are talking of shooting millions of them. In the past...
Okay, It would be option A. Let me explain to you. In bulb rifles, because he was saying, okay, he was saying, consequently, for a long time, long time now, there has been a yearly cold. In other words, their numbers are reduced with controlled and accurate shooting. So shooting is related in bulb here, so it's a synonym word of like actual accurate shooting. So in bulb in rifles. Okay, so that's why it would be the answer. Now let's listen for question number 33. Kangaroo meat is kangaroo meat is blah blah popular in Australia and healthier and sometimes given to pets. Okay, let's listen it.
The carcasses were simply left out in the bush. Then later, some of the meat was used as cat food, and still is, in fact. It is
So he was saying some of the meat was used as cat food. So cat food means it's used for something sometimes given to pets. So option C will be the answer. As he was taking, sometimes some of the meats was used as cat food. So cat is one kind of pets. Okay, so that means the option we should select is C. Okay, and that is the correct one. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here we have another map. Write one word only for each answer. Okay, here. Okay, so let's look at question number 34 to 40. Yeah, we can see it. This is the question 34. Good for, okay, here benefit for kangaroo meat, good for blah blah. Let's listen to why kangaroo food is good. Okay, let's listen it.
Now listen and answer questions 34 to 40.
Now, there is a market, small but growing, for kangaroo meat. And one interesting reason to encourage its consumption is that it is environmentally friendly to do so. And this itself.
So here's a saying, interesting reason to encourage its consumption is that environment friendly. So the answer we should write is environment. Okay, so here we are allowed to just write only one word, so we can just write environment, but we are not allowed to write two words. That's why we cannot write environment friendly, so we have to write just one word only. So let's write environment. Okay, now let's listen for question number 35. What is 35? Okay, I got it. Kangaroos lives in blah blah with Australian environment. Let's listen it.
Is for three reasons. One, the traditional cattle and sheep, which mostly fill the rural pastures of Australia, are introduced species and somewhat destructive to the environment. After all, they weren't meant to be there in the first place. Their eating habits destroy the root systems of grass. Their hard hooves tear open the ground, and their droppings are heavy and smothering to new growth. Kangaroos, in contrast, have all the opposite traits. They are a native animal existing in harmony with the natural environment there. So, replacing...
Okay, so he was saying they are native animals existing in harmony. So lives in harmony. Okay, harmony would be the answer. Okay, let me write harmony. Okay, let's listen it for question number 36. Where is 36? I can't see. Okay, I got it. lower amounts of blah 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 blah. Let's listen
In
it.
cattle with kangaroos makes good sense. The other benefit is that, unlike cows and sheep, kangaroos don't produce methane as a byproduct of their digestion.
Okay, methane would be the answer. Lower amount of methane, as he was saying. Another benefit is that unlike cows and sheep, kangaroos does not produce methane. So methane would be the answer. Let me write methane. TH and methane. Okay. Now we should listen in focus number 37. What is 37? I can't see. Okay, got it. Allows blah blah for other animals. Let's listen.
Digestion. And methane, along with carbon dioxide, is one of the primary agents of global warming. Finally, since there are too many kangaroos anyway, culling their population for their meat increases the biodiversity of Australia's wildlife. In other words, wallabies, quokkas, wombats, and other native animals are given space to increase their numbers also.
So you're saying native animals are given space. So it means space would be the answer. Space. Let me explain to you whole the sentence here. He was saying, and other animals are given space to increase their number also. So it means kangaroo allows space for other animals. Okay, as he was saying. Now we should listen for question number 38. Here is 38. Okay, so it says problem of facing kangaroo meat. Okay, so far we just heard about all of the benefit of kangaroo meat, but now we are going to listen for kangaroo problems with kangaroo meat. Okay, let's listen it. Eating it is blah blah as bad. Let's listen it.
In the way that it was meant to be before the bushland was extensively cleared. So, one would think such arguments make the case irrefutable. However, there are some serious issues to overcome. The biggest problem is the way eating this meat is perceived. Many people...
Okay, eating it is perceived. So we should write here perceived. Let me write perceived. As he was saying, the biggest problem is the way eating this meat is perceived. Okay, perceived. Now let's listen it for question number 39. Use of blah blah regarded as cruel. Okay, let's listen it.
People still feel uneasy about eating what is, in effect, a national symbol, and a cute one at that. As well as this perception problem, kangaroos cannot be domesticated or raised within enclosures, as can conventional cattle. Kangaroos simply leap over fences, meaning that it is wild kangaroos that are harvested, which is not always efficient or cost-effective. This process involves trucks, shooters, spotlights, and many people to assist in transporting carcasses from remote locations. Finally, the public are not that happy with guns being the tool to cull these animals, arguing that it is...
So, guns would be the answer. Guns, let me explain to you why I wrote guns. As he was talking, finally, the public are not that happy with guns being the tool to cull. So, use of guns regarded as cruel. Okay, will be the answer. So now let's listen it for question number 40 and the last one. made worse by blah blah of kangaroo calls. Let's listen it.
Inhumane. Professional shooters are, of course, trained, licensed, and follow a strict code of practice. They use accurate weapons and always aim for the head. The kill, in theory, is instantaneous, yet not necessarily in all cases. Thus, videos of kangaroo shooting taken by animal rights activists can cause great problems for the industry. Yet,
Okay, so videos would be the answer. Videos. Okay, let me explain to you. As he was saying, the kill in the theory in instantaneous, yet not necessarily in all cases. Thus, video of kangaroo shooting can by animal rights activists. Okay, activists can cause great problem for the industry. Okay, so that's why the answer we should write videos. Okay, that's all about today's lesson. Let's submit it and let's check how much we got in this lesson. Okay, we got 9 out of 9 and our 40 answers are correct out of 40. So congratulations to you all to be with me and practice with me. I hope I explain everything clearly, and if maybe sometimes some students are face difficulties to understand many questions, I would suggest for them that you need to watch this video more and more time, and then I hope you will be able to get the answer, and then you will be confident. Okay, so again I will suggest you to watch this video more and more times, and that will help you exactly, okay, to be confident. So we will see you in the next class with another IELTS listening practice test. So I have to say you bye for now.